Key Glock's world just took a shocking turn as he steps into court for the first time over the murder case involving Yo Gotti's brother. Fans are scrambling to understand the tension, the accusations, and what this could mean for his career. Was this just a routine appearance, or the beginning of a legal storm that could change everything? The courtroom was packed with onlookers, reporters, and flashing cameras, all waiting to see the rapper who's been at the center of a heated controversy. Rumors, allegations, and speculation are already swirling. Who was there to support him? How did Key Glock react when he first saw the courtroom? And most importantly, what does this mean for his future in music and his freedom? Every detail matters, and every move is being dissected by fans and media alike. This is not just a legal matter, it's a story of fame, loyalty, and consequences that no one saw coming. The courthouse was buzzing with tension, the kind that only appears when a high-profile case intersects with the world of hip-hop. Outside, fans, reporters, and curious onlookers had gathered hours before the proceedings were scheduled to begin, their phones and cameras ready to capture every moment. Key Glock, the rapper whose name had dominated headlines for weeks, was finally making his first appearance in court regarding the murder case of Yo Gotti's brother. For many, this wasn't just a legal matroot, it was a spectacle, a clash of fame, loyalty, and violence that had captivated the city. Inside the courthouse, the atmosphere was thick. Lawyers whispered quietly among themselves while court clerks shuffled papers. And the security was tight, every officer alert to potential disruptions. When Key Glock arrived, escorted by his legal team, a hush fell over the room. Dressed in a tailored black suit with dark sunglasses, he walked with a calm confidence that masked the storm brewing inside. Observers noted that, despite the cameras and flashing lights, he seemed focused, almost detached, as though he had prepared for this moment for years. The charges against him were serious. He was linked to the murder of Yo Gotti's brother in a shooting that had shaken the Memphis community. Law enforcement had been tight-lipped about the evidence, only confirming that Key Glock was under investigation for his alleged role. Rumors about gang affiliations, feuds, and previous altercations had already painted him in a dangerous light. But this was the first time he was facing a judge. The first time he had to stand in front of the public and the law without the protection of anonymity. From the moment he entered the courtroom, the tension was palpable. The prosecuting attorney, a veteran in high-profile cases, observed Key Glock intently, while the defense team whispered strategy behind their folders. The judge, an imposing figure with decades of experience in criminal law, called the court to order. This session will address the charges filed against Mr. Key Glock regarding the murder of Mr. Jamal Gotti. The judge began, her voice steady but firm. The name echoed through the room, and Key Glock's expression remained unreadable. Witnesses, reporters, and even some fans in the gallery were glued to every detail. People were speculating about whether he would plead guilty, maintain his innocence, or make a statement. Lawyers clarified procedural matters while the media took notes feverishly, knowing that every gesture, every slip, every eye movement could become tomorrow's headline. It was a delicate balance between legal procedure and public spectacle, and Key Glock was at the center of it all. Hours before the court appearance, rumors had circulated on social media that Key Glock had been seen at a local recording studio, preparing new music even amid the turmoil. Some fans interpreted this as defiance, others as a coping mechanism. Either way, the narrative of a rapper unfazed by the law was already taking shape. Analysts debated whether his calm demeanor in court was strategic, a display of confidence intended to influence public perception and jurors alike as proceedings continued. The first phase was procedural, establishing identities, reviewing the charges, and setting dates for hearings. The judge explained the rights of the accused, and Key Glock listened attentively, occasionally glancing toward his attorneys for confirmation. His defense team reminded him to remain silent unless spoken to, emphasizing the importance of measured responses in high-profile cases. Every word he said or didn't say could be used against him. Security cameras caught the reactions of spectators, Some were shocked, some skeptical, and others supportive. A few young fans, recognizable by their key Glock merchandise, whispered among themselves about his music, oblivious or indifferent to the gravity of the case. Meanwhile, seasoned reporters jotted down notes, their headlines forming in real time. Rapper faces court in murder case. First appearance draws massive attention. Throughout the morning, tension mounted as the prosecution presented a brief outline of the case against Key Glock, though no detailed evidence was released at this stage. The implications were clear. Investigators had linked Kim to the scene and were building a narrative that suggested involvement. The defense remained composed, countering procedural points and requesting certain evidentiary reviews. Their strategies seemed to focus on careful navigation rather than confrontation, knowing that the eyes of the public were not only on the courtroom but on every move the rapper made outside it as well. By midday, media outlets had already started releasing updates. Social media was flooded with clips of Key Glock entering the courthouse, sitting stoically and occasionally nodding toward his legal team. Fans debated online whether he was guilty, innocent, or being unfairly targeted. The court became a stage, the drama unfolding both inside and outside. But amid the chaos, Key Glock maintained his composure. Sources close to him indicated that he had been preparing for this moment, ostensibly reviewing legal documents, speaking to advisors, and even rehearsing his demeanor to project calm and control. "He knows what's at stake," a source said. "This is more than just a case, it's his reputation, his career, and his freedom." As the session wrapped for the day, the judge scheduled the next hearing and reminded everyone of courtroom decorum. Key Glock exited with the same composed demeanor he had entered with, though cameras captured subtle signs of tension, a clenched jaw, a brief glance over the shoulder, and a deep breath as he stepped outside. The crowd outside erupted with questions, flashes, and shouting. But security quickly guided him to a waiting vehicle. For the fans, the drama was only beginning. Analysts predicted that the case would drag on, with multiple hearings, potential plea deals, and media coverage that would keep the story alive for months. Legal experts speculated about the strength of the prosecution's evidence, the potential strategies of the defense, and what this case could mean for Key Glock's career trajectory. Some said his music might suffer. Others argued that public attention could actually boost streams and fan engagement. A bittersweet irony that highlights the complicated intersection of fame and legal trouble. By the end of the day, it was clear that Key Glock's first court appearance had set the stage for a long, tense legal battle. Every movement, every expression, and every decision would be scrutinized by the public and the law alike. And while the rapper walked away seemingly unshaken, the world was watching, knowing that what happened next could define not just his career, but the legacy he leaves behind. The case wasn't just a legal matter anymore, it had become a story about loyalty, betrayal, fame, and consequences. With Key Glock at the center of a drama that was far from over. The days following Key Glock's first appearance in court were filled with anticipation, speculation, and relentless media coverage. Fans and onlookers were glued to every development, analyzing his every move and statement. While the initial hearing had been procedural, setting dates and outlining charges, the next phase of the case was where the real tension began: pre-trial preparations, witness lists, and legal strategies that could determine the rapper's fate. Key Glock spent the week largely in seclusion, meeting with his legal team in a series of private sessions. Sources close to him claimed that he was intensely focused, reviewing police reports, cross-examining potential witness statements, and preparing for every scenario imaginable. He's aware that this isn't just about what happens in court, an insider revealed. It's about perception, his career, and maintaining his image while the whole city watches. Even casual fans began noting a shift in his social media presence, became sparse, carefully worded and cryptic, hinting at the stress and gravity of the situation without revealing too much. Meanwhile, the prosecution was hard at work, building a narrative that would link Key Glock directly to the crime. Investigators had interviewed witnesses, examined security footage, and collected forensic evidence from the scene. though many details were sealed from the public. Rumors leaked quickly. Glock allegedly had known associations with people involved in the altercation that resulted in Yo Gotti's brother's death. And his movements the night of the incident were being closely scrutinized. Legal analysts debated the strength of these claims, noting that circumstantial evidence could carry significant weight in high-profile cases, but proving direct involvement would require airtight testimony and documentation. Outside the courthouse, the media circus intensified. Paparazzi and reporters trailed Glock wherever he went, capturing him entering studios, leaving restaurants, and attending meetings with his team. Every sighting was dissected online. Fans speculated on his demeanor, his clothing choices, even the type of car he drove. Discussions raged on forums, social media platforms, and comment sections about whether Glocks.com exterior signaled confidence or concealed panic. Some argued that his strategic silence and careful public appearances were genius moves, while others suggested he was underestimating the scrutiny and pressure building against him. As the next court date approached, tension in the legal world was palpable. The judge scheduled a preliminary hearing to review evidence and set the framework for trial. Lawyers for both sides prepared meticulously, understanding that in high-profile cases, pretrial motions could sway public perception and influence jury selection. Glock's defense team filed several motions, including requests to suppress certain pieces of evidence and to limit media access to sensitive materials. Each motion sparked debates among legal experts and journalists about whether the rapper's team was trying to buy time, protect his image, or genuinely challenge the prosecution's case. The courtroom itself became a focal point for drama. On the day of the preliminary hearing, dozens of fans and onlookers crowded the area, eager to catch a glimpse of Glock. Security was heightened, with officers stationed strategically to prevent disruptions. Inside, the atmosphere was tense as lawyers presented arguments. Judges reviewed motions, and the first signs of friction between prosecution and defense emerged. Observers noted the sharp contrast between Glock's composed demeanor and the charged energy of the room. His eyes remained fixed on the judge, his posture upright and his reactions minimal, but subtle gestures, a slight nod, a raised eyebrow were captured and analyzed by journalists for signs of confidence or anxiety. Meanwhile, online speculation reached a fever pitch. Fans debated whether Glock might consider a plea deal to reduce potential sentencing, or whether he was determined to fight every charge aggressively. Analysts broke down his previous legal history, public behavior, and social media activity, drawing conclusions about his possible strategies. Every tweet, Instagram post, or cryptic lyric was examined under the lens of the ongoing trial, with some suggesting that his recent music hinted at the emotional toll the situation had taken. The preliminary hearing itself lasted several hours. Prosecutors outlined the evidence in more detail, highlighting witness accounts, forensic findings, and connections that suggested Glock's involvement. Defense attorneys countered by challenging credibility, questioning procedural integrity, and emphasizing that no direct evidence conclusively tied their client to the crime. The judge listened carefully, occasionally interjecting to clarify points, and ultimately ruled that the case would proceed, scheduling dates for further hearings and pretrial motions. This decision was immediately reported across media outlets, reigniting public interest and fueling social media debates. After the hearing, Glock left the courthouse flanked by his team, his expression unreadable. Fans cheered, jeered, and shouted questions, but he remained silent, slipping into a waiting vehicle. The press captured fleeting glimpses of tension in his body language, a tightened jaw, a slight clenching of fists, but overall, he projected control and determination. His legal team emphasized that their strategy was long-term, focused on protecting his rights while carefully managing public perception. In the days that followed, social media campaigns, fan theories, and viral posts continued to dominate conversations. Hashtags related to the trial trended nationally, with debates over his guilt, innocence, and potential sentencing dominating timelines. Commentary varied from sympathy and support for the rapper to criticism and outrage at his alleged involvement in the crime. Music blogs speculated on how ongoing legal battles might affect upcoming projects, collaborations, and tour schedules, while mainstream news outlets reported updates from court proceedings, witness testimonies, and official statements. Behind the scenes, Key Glock's team remained methodical. They arranged meetings with advisors, media strategists, and personal security to navigate the increasingly complex landscape. Sources suggested that he had been rehearsing potential questions, statements, and responses in preparation for interviews should they become necessary. Every decision was weighed carefully. One misstep could have legal consequences or further damage his reputation. The case had become more than just a legal matter. It was now a full-blown media event, a test of Key Glock's ability to manage pressure and a battle for public perception. As fans watched closely, the rapper's composure, his defense strategy, and the prosecution's evidence would determine the narrative. For months to come, the first court appearance had set the stage, and the preliminary hearing confirmed that the road ahead would be long, grueling, and closely scrutinized. With every motion filed, every witness called, and every social media post dissected, Key Glock's legal journey was shaping into one of the most talked about cases in hip-hop history, and the city, the fans, and the industry would be watching every step of the way. The tension surrounding Key Glock's case had reached a boiling point as the trial approached. After weeks of preparation, media scrutiny, and public speculation, the third phase of the legal battle was finally underway, and it was clear that nothing would be simple. Courtrooms, legal filings, and social media platforms were all battlegrounds where reputations, careers, and even personal freedom hung in the balance. From the moment Key Glock arrived at the courthouse for what would be the most significant hearing yet, the energy was electric. Reporters and fans crowded the perimeter trying to catch a glimpse, while social media instantly lit up with live updates, clips, and speculation. Every detail, his suit, his expressions, the brief interactions with his legal team was analyzed frame by frame. The public was hungry for insight, trying to read whether he was confident, anxious, or masking something deeper. Inside, the atmosphere was equally charged. The judge presiding over the case emphasized the gravity of the proceedings, reminding everyone present that this was a murder case with serious consequences. Prosecutors outlined their arguments with precision, presenting additional evidence, witness accounts, and forensic details that had not been made public before. While many of these details were technical, they painted a picture of a complex situation, suggesting that Key Glock's connection to the incident was not as straightforward as the public had been led to believe. Witness testimony became the focal point of the session. Several individuals called to clarify events leading up to the crime recounted their perspectives. Some accounts were conflicting, adding layers of ambiguity and tension. The defense team, seizing every opportunity, rigorously cross-examined each witness, highlighting inconsistencies and challenging credibility. Observers noted Key Glock's calm demeanor during these exchanges. His eyes remained fixed on the proceedings, his posture unwavering, projecting a sense of control despite the gravity of the situation. The courtroom drama unfolded alongside a social media storm. Clips from the hearing, particularly moments when Key Glock's reactions were visible, went viral within minutes. Fans debated every subtle gesture, a nod, a raised eyebrow, a shift in seating. Speculation ran rampant. Some interpreted his composure as innocence. Others saw it as strategic calculation. Analysts discussed potential outcomes, weighing the prosecution's evidence against the defense's tactics. Every live stream snippet and commentary became fodder for viral content, further blurring the line between legal procedure and public spectacle. Outside the courthouse, tensions remained high. Supporters rallied in small groups, holding signs and chanting Key Glock's name, while detractors voiced their opinions loudly. The city became a microcosm of the controversy, reflecting the intense polarization surrounding the case. Security remained tight, but the energy was palpable. A mix of curiosity, loyalty, and outrage. Media vans lined the streets, capturing every detail as legal observers, fans, and bystanders reacted to the unfolding events. Meanwhile, Key Glock's team was relentless behind the scenes. They meticulously reviewed every piece of evidence presented, strategized responses for potential questions, and prepared for various courtroom scenarios. Sources indicated that the rapper had spent long nights with his legal advisors, rehearsing his statements and responses, not just for the courtroom, but also for media interactions. Every decision was calculated, knowing that public perception could influence not only his career, but potentially the jury's outlook. The hearing itself stretched for hours, with prosecutors pushing hard on establishing connections and presenting evidence of Glock's alleged involvement. Forensic reports, timelines, and witness testimony were scrutinized meticulously. The defense, in turn, highlighted inconsistencies and gaps in the prosecution's narrative, seeking to create reasonable doubt. At times, the exchanges became tense, with both sides sharply questioning each other's assertions. Observers noted that Key Glock remained silent for most of the proceedings, speaking only when prompted by his attorney or the judge, an approach that underscored his strategic composure. As the day wore on, speculation outside the courtroom intensified. Social media exploded with theories about the trial's trajectory, debates about Glock's guilt or innocence, and discussions about the potential impact on his career. Fans shared clips and memes, turning the legal proceedings into a cultural event. While news outlets provided analysis that ranged from objective reporting to sensationalized commentary, the narrative had evolved beyond just the courtroom. It had become a story of fame, loyalty, and the intersection of music and crime in the public eye. In addition to legal strategies, the emotional toll on Key Glock was evident, though well-controlled. Sources close to him reported moments of quiet reflection, indicating the stress and weight of the accusations. Despite the external calm, those around him understood the magnitude of what he was facing: the possibility of imprisonment, the impact on his music career, and the scrutiny of millions of eyes focused on every move. Balancing personal emotions with public image had become a critical, ongoing challenge. By the conclusion of the hearing, the judge scheduled several key dates for further proceedings, including motions, evidence submissions, and pretrial interviews. The decision signaled that the legal battle was far from over. While Key Glock exited the courthouse with his usual composed exterior, subtle signs, slight tension in his shoulders, a measured exhale, and focused eyes hinted at the immense pressure of the ongoing situation. Reporters captured the moment, and the footage quickly circulated, reigniting public debate. Even after leaving the courthouse, the ripple effects of the day continued. Analysts speculated about plea negotiations, potential defense strategies, and possible outcomes. Music industry insiders discussed how ongoing legal issues could affect Key Glock's projects, collaborations, and tour schedules. Fans created online petitions, discussion threads, and live streams analyzing every aspect of the case. In essence, the courtroom had become just one arena. The court of public opinion had expanded, and Key Glock was at its center. Through it all, Key Glock's focus remained sharp. Sources indicated he continued working on music, using it as both an emotional outlet and a strategic tool to maintain relevance. Legal advisors emphasized caution, and the rapper carefully navigated interactions with the media, ensuring that no misstep could be interpreted as an admission or a misrepresentation of the facts. The dual pressures of legal scrutiny and public attention created a complex landscape that required constant vigilance as this phase of the trial drew to a close. One thing was clear: Key Glock's first appearances and hearings had set a precedent for how the case would unfold. The combination of intense media coverage, fan engagement, and legal maneuvering had created an environment where every move mattered. The next steps in the courtroom would not only test the strength the prosecution and defense, but also the resilience and strategy of the rapper himself. For Key Glock, the road ahead promised more hearings, more scrutiny, and more challenges. Every testimony, motion, and statement had the potential to shape not only the outcome of the case, but the narrative surrounding his career and personal life. As fans, analysts, and critics continued to follow the story, the saga of Key Glock and the murder case involving Yo Gotti's brother remained one of the most compelling and high-stakes narratives in the hip-hop world, an intersection of fame, legal battle, and the public's insatiable appetite for drama. This case has captured the attention of fans, critics, and the hip-hop community alike, and it's far from over. Key Glock's first appearances in court have set the stage for a high-stakes legal battle that will test his career, reputation, and personal resilience. With every hearing, every motion, and every piece of evidence, the story continues to unfold, leaving fans and observers speculating about what might happen next. Now it's your turn to weigh in. Do you think Key Glock will be able to clear his name and maintain his career? Or is the weight of the charges too significant to overcome? Could this case redefine the way the hip-hop world views fame, loyalty, and accountability? Or will it simply be another headline in a long line of controversies? And with the public's attention on every detail, how much do you think perception and media coverage will impact the outcome? Drop your thoughts and predictions in the comments. Share your take on whether Key Glock's strategy of composure and focus will pay off, or if the legal storm is too strong to weather. This story is far from finished, and your perspective could add a new layer to the discussion. Keep following, stay updated, and watch closely, because the next chapter of this case could bring shocking revelations, unexpected twists, and dramatic developments that nobody sees coming. The courtroom drama is real, and the stakes have never been higher.